Alright y'all, welcome back to another video. Today, it's middle September. Hunting season's coming upon us, and I've been tinkering with some stuff, getting some stuff ready, but the focus of today's video is to review this Killer Instinct Boss 405 crossbow I just picked up. I really wanted to get one last year, but I just stuck it out with my compound bow. And I still like hunting with that compound bow. I'm not going to quit doing that too. But there are some places where I'm interested in hunting that might take a little bit longer shot than I'm comfortable with the compound. But I'm hoping this can increase my range a little bit longer, so I get my confidence up for maybe taking a longer shot. So I got this kind of mid-level crossbow. I know there's a lot more expensive ones and there's a lot cheaper ones. Made the mistake of buying one of the cheaper ones several years ago. Probably a Chinese made product, like with a recurve style. And I can't get that thing to shoot accurate to save my life. And it just sits up, I think I put it up in the attic because I was so fed up with trying to mess with getting it to shoot better. Looked a lot of reviews, this gets pretty good reviews from everybody else. I'm going to put it together and put it through its paces and see how it works for me. And hopefully the review can help you guys make a decision if you want to buy one. So I'm going to do a little time lapse of me assembling it. After I'm going to go through and show you all the items that come in the box. Kind of like an unboxing, but not so boring. You don't see me unwrap all the stuff. And when we get it together, I probably don't have time today because it's going to be getting dark and it's pretty wet outside because we got a lot of rain. Next day we get a good chance to go outside and put some shots down range with it. We'll try sight it in and give you my first review, and then maybe after a few hunts and a little more time with it, I'll come back on here and do a review update to let you know if anything's changed or there's anything I like better or may want to improve on. But we'll keep you all posted, but thanks for tuning in. We'll get to it. Alright guys, this is a picture of the crossbow and all its components unboxed. We'll kind of go through, obviously right here, that's the main riser and everything. Underneath you got the main frame with the trigger assembly, the front handle, the rail, and everything about the scope, and the 6-position stock. Came with these 3 bolts with the field tips for them. We got some hardware here that it came with. It also came with some rail lube that we're going to put on there to keep the string from getting chafed up on the rail. We got this scope here, which I'll post the specs down below. 3-bolt quiver and the quiver mount, cocking device, and there's the front footstep for cocking it back. I'm not going to bore you with the assembly. I'll probably do a little time lapse of it and throw it in here on like hyper speed so you can see me put it together, but I don't want to be responsible for somebody assembling something wrong or me telling you something wrong. It comes with the instructions also, which are right here, so I'm sure you can read through and figure out how to put it together. If you have any questions, maybe put in the comments and I can help you, but I don't need to make this video too long. It's just going to be a review video. So after we get it assembled, we'll pick it up after there. Alright y'all, I'm going to break up the time lapse there because after assembling it I hit a couple of snags. Just wanted to fill you in. I'll probably break that time lapse up into the first and second part. You probably saw me put the riser on, put these two bolts in the front and the one in the bottom. This little string guard here was a little tricky to figure out, but once you sit in there it wasn't bad, but I noticed that these were kind of hard to get down in there with just the cheesy little Allen they gave you. You could put it in here sideways where you get more torque on it and get about 1/8 of the turn per time. It's going to take you probably an hour to get them all the way in there. That's why I grabbed a wrench so I could get on top of it and keep spinning it faster. That really sped time up. I think it's because if you check those bolts out before you put them in, they got like the last 3 threads look like it has some Loctite on them, which is good. I'm glad it does because you don't want this thing vibrating apart as you shoot it. But I think that's what kind of made it a little tricky putting those in. But the second snag I hit, I was reading through the instructions, they're a little vague, but it was saying this is a side mount bracket for the quiver. So you can actually slide it on and keep it like this, which is, I feel like the way I probably will transport it. But it gives you a second option to put it on the front and lock it on there. Transport it that way. I kind of feel like I would snag more stuff if this is hanging out this way. It doesn't really seem like it would interfere with me shooting if I had to shoot with the quiver still attached on the side. So I'm probably going to go with the side, but the instructions just vaguely say, I'll read it. For side mount bracket, attach side mount bracket to Picatinny rail on bottom of crossbow stock using hardware included. Slide quiver into side mount bracket and close locking lever. I said that really fast, but what I'm going to tell you is maybe they all come different, but mine came with this foregrip all the way slid to the end of the rail. I'll come a little closer, you see the rails right there. That extends to just before right here, there's a little sling mount where you can put like a shoulder strap on. Well, it stops right there, and there was no Picatinny rail left to add this bracket. So I pulled these bolts out right here, thinking it would just slide out, but man, that thing was on there super tight. I don't know, it's just been stored that way for so long that plastic got pinched down, but you can look, watching the time lapse, you'll see me just banging on with the butt of my hand, even trying to take these wings and kind of pry out a little bit to get that to loosen up to slide it back. Because you got to give yourself at least enough clearance to get this bracket mounted if you decide you want to do the side mount arrows. And that's something else I'm going to have to probably just practice with and see what I like, because that did scoot this foreguard back enough to where I don't know if it's going to be stable enough for me. Only time will tell as I shoot it and get comfortable with it if having this side mount bracket on there is worth moving that back, or if I don't feel like, you know, having the quiver on it this way is getting in my way at all. I may take this off and move the foregrip back up. So, I mean, spread it out, get you a little bit more stable of a rest. We'll just have to see how it goes, but I did want you to know that if you're wondering where do you put this, because at first I couldn't tell, you do have to slide this foregrip back to give yourself room for that. So just keep in mind that I wouldn't even struggle with it if you feel like you're probably going to use a quiver like this anyway. That way you got more freedom of where you can mount the foregrip. Just wanted to give you a little heads up on a little struggle I had, maybe save yourself the trouble. Alright y'all, just finished the time lapse. I did get it all put together. I went through my little struggles I had with the mounts, but putting the scope on was pretty easy. And overall, I'm pretty pumped about it. It's getting too late tonight, and as wet as it is, I'm not going to worry about it, but as soon as it gets nice, we'll get out and shoot it. I just want to show you guys how it looked with mount it on there. Like I said, I think I'm gonna leave the quiver like this at first just to give it a try. Not saying I might not try this other style too, see what it's like. I know I said moving the foregrip back might be a little bit of an issue, but depending on the situation, I'm hoping I don't have to use this foregrip like that enough, because I went out and also when I bought this, I ordered a monopause shooting stick. This is a Allen brand shooting stick. There we go, Allen right there. It's really lightweight. It doesn't weigh hardly anything at all. I mean, you don't want to lean on it too hard, but just to rest your gun and get a nice stable spot to aim, it seems like it's going to be the ticket. I'm hoping I can even possibly set this up in my tree stand or whatever. I can get the little spike down in between the mesh and the bottom of it and get a nice, stable rest. So this may not be as much of an issue down the road the more I think about it. And another cool thing I didn't realize is I probably won't be able to show it in the camera, but it's got red and blue light settings for the reticle in this scope, which is kind of cool. I've never had one like that. You can turn it up and down, adjust the brightness or whatever helps you. Or just leave it black if you want. Don't waste any battery. But I thought that was kind of a neat little add-on. And I'm sure if you saw on the time lapse, I kind of held this up by hand and tried to gauge where my reveal was best. So I knew where to kind of start with this. And I knew this being right close to the end of the rail was about good, just eyeballing it, holding it. So I set my two scope mounts up to where I was in the center of this flat part, to where if I needed to adjust it front or back a little bit, I wouldn't have to take these completely loose and adjust everything. It should be a little easier to mess with if I do have to adjust on it. So we'll get back to this video in a day or two, next time I get a chance to get out there, and I'm gonna have to drag the big target out. I'm thinking this thing's gonna have a little more punch than my daughter's little bow, or even my bow is fine with our lighter weight target, because the arrows don't go all the way through it, but these being shorter arrows, I don't want to punch them into the target and risk messing up the fletchings on these brand new arrows. So my neighbor's got a bulkier target that I can use. He told me I can go over and grab and use anytime I want. That will be much more dense and better for this crossbow. So we'll pick it up then and finish up the review. Alright y'all, we're back. The video, Killer Instinct Boss 405 review. Got good enough weather to come out here and shoot a little bit, so this is a cocking device. Just figured I'd show you how to use it. You want to bring this string back behind. It's got this little notch. If you look, there's even a sticker right here. It says rope cocker groove. Run it around there, and then clip these around your main line. Keep your foot in a little stirrup there on the bottom. Just lift up until it clicks. Alright, once it clicks, you're engaged. Automatically puts it in safety, which is a really nice feature. Go ahead and take this thing off and out of the way. We're going to load us up an arrow and give her a shot. Alright, we got it cocked and ready to go. I loaded a bolt in. Obviously, the colored one, the green one, goes down into the groove so that the knock will fit onto the string just right. Let's give it a first shot. The manual said to start out at 10 yards and make adjustments on your scope from there. So that's what we're gonna do. I just walk this off at about 10 yards and see where she's at. Click off safety. There she is. Go see where she landed. Alright, we took the first shot at 10 yards and it shot a little high and a little to the right. So I'm going to make a adjustment here. I moved the target back to 20 yards. I'm kind of hoping to put my crosshair, my main crosshair at 20 yards and go from there. I'm going to move it to the left. I'm going to do about 3 clicks. I got the shooting stick stable. Get it lined up. Punch one in there. Safety off. Man, this thing's got some kick to it. Alright, y'all. Put a few shots down range so far. Still working on dialing in the scope to get it to where I want it. Still a little high and off to the right, so I don't want to bore you with me trying to sight it in. I'm going to take several shots and try to get it dialed in. We'll come back, finish off the review with what I think so far. And then we'll take her out and do some hunts with it and come back for a follow-up review. So stay tuned for that. Alright, y'all. Just want to close out this Killer Instinct Boss 405 crossbow review by just letting you know that last clip I had was going to be the last I have of it. I ended up going ahead and sending that thing back to Amazon because within another 15 or so shots of me trying to get it sighted in, which come to find out I probably had 50 clicks in the up and down and left and right measurements to try to get it to shoot on target. And the crosshairs never moved once. It was still hitting almost dead on the same spot over and over, no matter how many clicks I put into it. And I can shoot it aiming low and to the left, and it would pin the bullseye every time. So the scope was bad, but in the process of taking all those shots trying to get it sighted in, I noticed the not the string, but the what is that called? The serving on the string that protects it in the middle when you cock it and it goes on the latch was starting to get frayed, and I tried to make sure it was nothing I was doing, but after just a few more shots, it was so frayed that it was exposing just bare string, and I didn't feel safe shooting it anymore. So I contacted customer service, which was okay. They did get back in contact with me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what they are doing, but after an email, it did take at least 2 days to hear back from them. So I had going on and on for, a week or so after I put my first complaint in. They wanted me to register the product, so I did that. Had to wait another few days, send another picture of the string again. I had already sent them one with a frayed string, sent them a second one, and they said, okay, we'll send you a new string. But then I was going to have to pay the bow shop to put it on and troubleshoot what was causing it to be frayed. Like, they didn't offer to do anything like send me a new stock that, maybe it was something. I think it was on the rail where the rail meets the body. There was kind of a high spot there. I think when the string was coming across it, it was it's too much of an abrupt change, and it was wearing on the left side of that serving real bad. So they did end up sending me a new string, but at that point I had already sent a claim into Amazon and they let me return it. So I felt like that was my best option instead of having to put money into a brand new bow to get it shooting right and not messing up. I figured if Amazon will let me return it for a full refund, that was my best bet. So overall, the bows seem pretty good. I'm sure it was probably just a fluke from the factory, and maybe other people got the same one that shoots great. And I did like the power of it. I liked it was pretty quiet. I liked the way it felt, the adjustable stock. There's a lot of pros about it, but I'm sure anybody would understand when you spend that kind of money on an item, you'd expect it to work for at least a little while before you start having issues with it, not right out of the box already having problems. So if you guys decide to get one, hopefully you don't get a lemon like me. But like I said, Killer Instincts customer service was pretty good, but a little slow. We got to be patient. But the problem is we're getting really close to hunting season here. I know a lot of other places it's already open, but ours is opening up October 14th, so I didn't have, you know, weeks and weeks to wait to try to get this thing settled out. I probably will be trying a different crossbow here at some point, but I decided at this juncture of the season, I'm probably just going to go ahead with my compound bow and do more hunting with that. So, hope you guys enjoyed the review, and if you have any questions, I'll try to give you a helping hand, and hopefully your bow works out better than mine. Thanks for watching the channel. Please like and subscribe, and check out some hunting videos coming up here shortly.